We find ourselves in the days between Pesach and Shavuos. We know that it's Sefiras ha'Omer. And Sefiras ha'Omer is the 49 days, the 7 weeks time, the 7 days times 7 weeks, which bring us to 49, which brings us right up to the threshold of Shavuos, which is the 50th day itself. But one of the reasons Chazal tell us that we need these 49 days between Pesach and Shavuos is because Klal Yisrael is coming out of Mitzrayim. In Mitzrayim, they're on the 49th level of tumah, of impurity. And the only way they would be zeicha to be able to receive the Torah is if they went and they climbed up. Welcome back. Welcome back to everyone. Welcome back. The only way they would be able to be zeicha to get to the Kabbalah Torah, to receive the Torah, is if they would climb the spiritual ladder, ascend the levels of Kedusha, pull themselves out of the 49 levels of tumah, and reach the 49th level of Kedusha, of Tahara, where they would be worthy of receiving the Torah. So that means that every single day, if you think about, if you do the math, if you're on the 49th level of Tumah, and you have to get to the 49th level of Kedusha, you actually have to go 98 levels up to be able to get there. So every day is not climbing only one level, every day is really climbing 2 levels in order that by the time that you get to Shavuos, you're holding on level number 49. So every day there's a lot of work that a person has to do to be able to achieve those levels. Yes?
Don't they say that though, when you do tshuva, your averus becomes nefesh? So why wouldn't it be that when you climb up a ladder, you also gain a ladder when you climb?
Saying that if a person does tshuva, so the zdainos, depends how you do tshuva. You do tshuva me'ava. If you do tshuva out of love, so then HaKadosh Baruch Hu converts the averes that you did, he'll convert them into mitzvahs. If a person did tshuva out of yira, out of fear, he'll take that you did bezodin, that you did b'mezid knowingly, he'll make it into a shkaga, he'll make it into something that is as if you didn't realize you were doing it. So you're asking that if you did tshuva,
like how does that concept relate to, couldn't that also relate to counting up and, or counting, getting rid of the tumah at the same time you're increasing the kedusha? Just a thought.
okay, we'll keep it in mind over the next 49 days over here. Okay, I hear. So we mentioned by Neilas HaChag, by the end of Pesach. As I look around the room, I see that not everybody was there, so I don't feel like I'm repeating myself too much by saying over what we said at that point. And that is that if you look in the end of Pirkei Avos, we find that the Brisa tells us Gedoyle Torah Yosem min HaKahuna min HaMalchus, that Torah is greater than Kahuna, greater than than what you get for being a kohen, and greater than the malchus, greater than the kingdom. Now, what is the difference? Malchus is acquired with 30 ways, and kahuna is acquired in 24. Torah is memches devarim. There's 48 ways that a person is going to acquire the Torah. So many have the custom that between the days of Pesach and Shavuos, where we're climbing the ladder trying to get to level 49 of Kedusha to be able to receive the Torah, that they go through the 48 ways in which a person is going to acquire the Torah, as we will see Be'ez Hashem. And when you get to the 49th day, which you mean you already finished 48, when you get to the 49th day, you chaz over, you review all of the 48 ways again, so that by the 50th day of Shavuos itself, you're holding in all these 48 ways. Now we mentioned the following. If you look in the Mishnah, this is the Maral, if you look in the Mishnah says that kahuna and malchus and kingship is, you get it with 30 milos, 30 wonderful things. However, Torah is, memches is 48 devarim, things that you're going to acquire. And the Maral points out that there are milos, there are wonderful things that you have if you're a kohen or you are a king. And there are things that you acquire when you have Torah. And he points out that to get the 30 things of kahuna, or the 30 things of the kingdom, or the 24 things of kahuna, those just come along. They're privileges because you're a kohen. Your father was a kohen, you're a kohen, you get 24 matanas, 24 gifts just for becoming a kohen. Your father was the king. You got into the kingdom over there, so you get 30 wonderful attributes that you get along, that you get privileges as you become a king. But someone that is working on acquiring the Torah, it takes 48 acquisitions on your part to be able to come to the level where you're going to be worthy of receiving the Torah itself. Meaning the kahuna and malchus might come to you, but to the Torah, you're going to have to go to the Torah. And therefore, the 49 days that we are traveling through the sphere, climbing one level after the other, it's incumbent upon us to put in the effort, to put in that work, to be able to be kind to acquire it for ourselves. And we mention also from the words of the Maharal says that the number Mem Ches, which is Mem, 48, Mem and Ches, is the same language as Mayach, as the brain. And that is that we are training our brains during the Sefiras HaOmer to be able to make them into brains that are more in line with the Torah and what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. And each one of these 48 ways that we are going to learn, Be'ez Hashem, I don't know how many we'll learn, we'll try to do our best, but each one of these 48 ways that we're going to learn is another flex of a muscle that's in the mayach, that's in the brain, which allows a person to have more of the outlook and the understanding and the comprehension of what it is that the Torah wants from us. When Chazal tell us that if somebody learns Torah and they find something at fault with the Torah, it's not something wrong or something lacking or missing from the Torah. It is michem, it is something that is lacking from you. Meaning, when you read a Maimra Chazal, you read something that Chazal say, and it goes against the grain of the way that you, in Tarzana, California, 2023, think, and you say, what are these Chazal, what are they talking about? Chazal has nothing wrong with it. They know exactly what they're talking about it. They're not trapped in Tarzana, California. They're not trapped by their taivas. They're not trapped by the impurities of the world around them. They're living in a realm where they see everything very clearly and they understand exactly how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is running this world to the best of their abilities. So if they say something that rubs us in the wrong way, Chazal are not at fault. It just means that our mayach, our mind, is not as sharp and clear and understanding as the way that Chazal, the way that the sages themselves were seeing everything. So, and that's the same with the Psukim in the Torah, the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu does something, and I don't understand why HaKadosh Baruch Hu does what he does, that's not HaKadosh Baruch Hu's fault. That's my fault because I'm not understanding of the way in which Hashem runs this world. So we're working on that. The 48 ways, the Kinyani HaTorah, the way that we acquire the Torah is, we have to acquire one by one all the different things that it's going to say in this Mishnah. And if we do it in the right way, Be'ez Hashem, and we work on it day after day, which means that we're going to have to clump together a few, probably every day, in order to be able to get to number 48 by the end of the Sefiras HaOmer. We're already about 10 days or so behind. So Be'ez Hashem, we will train our mayach, our mind, to be able to look at the world in the way that the Torah wants us to look at the world. We'll be able to look at our responsibility, our job as a Jew, the way that the Torah wants us to look at that. And then, as the days of anticipation are coming, that Kabbalah Torah is on its way, so we will actually feel ourselves being cleansed every day. Well, you think only the Yidden in Mitzrayim had the shmutz that was on them. We all have shmutz that is on the residue on our neshamas. The Ramchal says the neshama itself is never damaged. No matter what a person goes through in life, the neshama is never damaged. It is as pure as it was when HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent it in to our bodies 100 years ago. However, 50 years ago, whatever it is. However, but what happens is that there's residue that builds up over time, and it covers up the neshama, so you can't really know how pure and how beautiful and how great your neshama is. Klal Yisrael was climbing. Their neshamas were the same neshamas, but they were lost in the quicksand of Mitzrayim. So they had to go through all of the cleansing to be pristine when they were staying at Har Sinai. We have the same thing. We have shmutz. We have residue. It's built up over the year. It's built up over the days. It built up, besides the 10 pounds, there's other poundage that built up on top of our neshamas, and we have to now ascend the ladder to be worthy of standing by Har Sinai Be'ez Hashem. So tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem will begin the list of the Memches Devarim, the 48 ways in which a person is going to acquire Torah, and in Yetz Hashem, it will help us to train our mayach, to train our minds, to be able to look at our mission, our task, and the tremendous opportunity that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us to cleanse ourselves and reach a level of Kedusha that you can only reach during this time of the year, Be'ez Hashem.